All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Now Teslafy Full Self-Driving. I just got the update for 10.69.3.2. Let's just check, right? Because they're getting so long these days. 10.69.25.2. So I was on .1 before. OG testers have had it for about 5 days or so, maybe a little bit less than that. I think it's been about 5 though. Took a while to install. It's fine. But yeah, let's check out what's new. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoy. I'd like to welcome my newest subs, Angela and Despo. Thank you guys, both of you, for joining and subscribing to my channel. It means a lot. So shout out to y'all. And if you want a shout out for one of my next videos, feel free to subscribe and leave me a comment below as well. Let me know what you thought. All right. So again, if you're new to the channel, I have a loop I go on. I'm going to go ahead and load up that loop now, and then we'll get underway. All right, so we have our address put in for Pybus Market. It looks like it's going to take us actually on the same route that we did last time, which was a change from almost all my other videos. However, there has been some notes that is the case. That's fine. What I might end up doing is I'm probably going to take a slightly different route back, because some of the things I really want to check have to do with lane shifting on one-ways. Anyway, let's get underway. And for some reason, from the stop, it's going to turning the wheel right. And is it going to go? Is it going to do anything? Oh. I noticed that it works so much better if you are actually traveling when you turn on FSD, but if you're stopped, it doesn't. Oh, now it's gonna, okay. So I gave it a little of acceleration there to give it some confidence, but that was pretty strange. All right, end of day here in the Pacific Northwest. It's a little bit chilly out, 35. We still got plenty of really hard, ugly snow, but the roads are dry and clear, so shouldn't have. Oh boy, that's too close for me for some of those snow berms that we still have. Okay, so there's my first nag. There had been some talk that maybe this version would improve the nag system, especially if you had lots of miles. While I probably don't qualify for that, say on like, whole Mars level, but and I have heard that other folks that have it, that they haven't noticed any nag difference. We'll see. I'm also not expecting a whole lot. This is pretty much a maintenance update, but the nice thing is maintenance updates these days can make some really phenomenal improvements. So I try not to be so skeptical. I have had some of my major problems resolved through some of these, what seemingly are minor updates. Okay, so if it's confident, it could go, but it is not. We do actually have a lane we can turn in that's sort of like it's like a merge lane, but I'm not seeing that. And there's another nag right in the middle of a turn. Okay, so it just skipped right over the merge lane, which it's pretty much done before. Anyway, so here's kind of the next challenge. It likes to get too close to this double yellow line here on the turn. We'll see. Okay, so that was better. It's confidently going around this corner. There's an awkward turn signal there. I don't know why. That's one of the things that I have seen a lot on Twitter. People saying the same thing. A lot of what makes FSD awkward right now is those kind of awkward turn signals for no reason. Especially when you're on a curve like that. Okay, well, so far from a nag perspective, it's not great. Okay, see, there's another turn signal, completely unneeded, because we just needed to pick the lane. Okay, so that's weird. It actually gave me an indicator down here to use the turn stalk or the accelerator to go, which that's something I saw before I even had FSD, right? So if you just had autopilot on and you had purchased FSD, you could turn it on around town and it would stop at stop signs for you, but you had to use the accelerator to go. I think it's been so long since I've done it, but that's something I feel like was left over from that. Now it's saying that this guy's door is open. I'm not entirely sure how it would know that. I can't see it from there. It's so weird. All right, so I don't think the nags are any better. Maybe it's like ramped up at the beginning, I don't know, but I've got, obviously several by now. So as far as the nags are concerned, I don't think they're any less frequent in this build. Actually, I feel like I'm getting more nag than I usually am. Okay, there's a slowdown there, unnecessary slowdown. I yield to this roundabout, which usually isn't an issue, but I also haven't. Okay, so it's I accidentally disengaged from trying to. So that was fine. Again, the odd thing is that it nagging me on a turn. Oh, that's like the worst. Like even if the nag is just like there, just don't do it on a turn. Like, put in the logic so while I'm trying to pay attention and make sure that the car isn't going to crash, which I'm a lot more confident that it isn't, but it's on a turn. I need to pay more attention than usual. Okay, another slowdown there for, again, unnecessary because this lane is our own. We're not merging. But nagging during a turn is just the worst. Just the worst. And then obviously there I overcorrected. A little bit of wanting to go into what is the parking lane. Okay, it's going to blow through this light, and I'm going to just go take a right. So that should not have happened, and I think it probably would have been fine if it went through the light, but I didn't want to do that. So, okay, giving it some acceleration with this three-way. Now this is an odd street because there isn't like a yellow line anywhere, so it's going to have to just kind of stick to the right, which it usually does fine. And it doesn't need to slow here, so that's kind of an awkward right. Wasn't terrible, but it's done that one smoother before. So 2 interventions. Again, the second one being a yellow light. Okay, stop. Okay, and I hate that behavior too. I actually just commented on Dirty Tesla's video today that behavior of a car making a left turn in front, the Tesla still wants to creep out even though the car is making, it should stop, especially if it knows, okay, some movement over into the parking lane here. That's awkward. But it should not roll at all. There should be like zero movement. I believe it can see turn signals now. And it should know that car is making its way in there. So I'm going to go ahead and disengage here. We made it to the market. That's good. Again, this is a different route than we usually go. I had previously what I call my Pybus challenge, but that has pretty much been resolved. So I'm actually going to loop back to the end of my loop, and we'll test out some of the lane change funkiness that I have seen and see if it is still behaving poorly in that way. We'll see as soon as I got this benched in. Okay, we've got the route, proper route that I want to go put in. We'll have which usually is a fairly challenging unprotected left turn up here. There's usually a lot of traffic. We might have a gimme. We'll see. It looks like we'll probably be okay. So the challenge here with this one is that the first available lane, which it should turn into, is also a right turn or a left turn only on a one-way that it also will need to get out of before it gets through that intersection. So it's going to make a left here, an unprotected left here, and then it needs to move over into the right lane. And that's assuming that it's going to choose the first lane, which is something that in the past has been an issue. For some reason, on one-ways, making a left, it wants to pick a different lane than the first available. Okay. And it should go, and it doesn't, what lane? Okay, so it did pick the first available lane, but this is indeed a left turn only. As you can see the sign up there. Is it going to make the change? I don't think so. So I'm going to go ahead and override and take over. So I wish there was a report button, but hopefully that disengagement, although I didn't disengage with the stock. It feels weird putting on the brake and then moving over, so I don't know, but that's a challenging one. Okay, so the lane changing here that I get here is coming up. Some awkwardness again with lane selection. We will need to be in the right lane, but on this turn here, it usually turns on the blinker. We'll see if it does. Yep, there's the blinker. It's like a right blinker. See, there it is again. But now we do need the right blinker because we do need to get over in this lane, which it is actually doing. Again, no way to report that. And also that it's not wrong, it's awkward, right? Those are like awkward things that like you're not going to disengage, you're not going to take over, but it's something that causes awkwardness for drivers around me, or at least I'm concerned about that. Okay, so the other thing that it does up in this intersection traditionally is that it wants to get into the left lane here to take the left onto our bridge. So this is the lane that we should be in because it is like the perfect lane for us to be in as we cross over the bridge to make our exit off the bridge. But the Tesla likes to be in the inside lane on like a 2-lane left turn like this. So we shall see. Okay, the other thing I'm not liking right away is that this intersection always gets filled. So now I'm in the middle of an intersection, and it's a very real possibility I will be stuck here even after the light changes, which is a big problem with this intersection. Looks like I'm not the only one, which is good. But at the same time, it is illegal. I don't know how, actually I really don't know how Tesla would anticipate that. Okay, so we got lucky here. So yep, so he wants to make that left turn. So I'm gonna go ahead and disengage. Actually, re-engage, let's see what happens. Okay, it wants to get in that left lane, but there's not enough room, but we can still make a left here. Okay, so it was kind of forced to. If you noticed, might have been hard to see with my turn on, but it wanted to get in that left-hand lane anyway. Okay, so slow down here, no reason for that because these guys are merging into their own lane, or they no merge rather, it's just joining traffic. So I use the accelerator there. Again, awkward. I do have somebody behind me. And here is one of the other challenges for my loop that, if you've seen any of my previous videos, I get really excited when it makes it because it is an awkward. It needs to be in this middle lane on this exit, not the right lane, and it usually likes to do this. Yep. Instead, so that's not. And then it's going to try and get, yep, see, move back over to the left. So, which is, again, on this really tight exit ramp turn, it wants to do it. Not always. It will, on occasion, on its own volition, choose the correct lane. But looks like we're back to sometimes it does it and sometimes it doesn't. And again, that's also one of those things that's not technically wrong, it's just awkward. But when it does it right, it's phenomenal. So, looks like we're back to old hat there. I would say it probably gets it right now. I make that, go across that bridge frequently. It makes that right now, or correctly, probably 50% of the time. Maybe a little bit less than that. And again, what do you do? Because it's, again, not technically wrong, but it's also not correct. I mean, it's also not, oh my gosh. So we had, okay, now we're being really, really awkward. This guy next to me is probably just like, what is going on? So it made the free right. I gave acceleration because it was just like not going to commit. Obviously that guy needed to be in his outer lane in order to make it work as well. And now we need to get over, and it's gonna be okay. So I feel gross right now. That's with this person in front of me, because they have, I'm sure, have no idea that I'm on full self-driving. It's not me doing it, but like we're really close to them. We had to merge with them. They were probably wanting to know what the crap I was going to do at that intersection. Car looked like it was going to make its right. They did okay by getting into their own lane, but then I still stopped, and it was just, I just feel gross as a person sharing the road with other people and letting my robot do the driving. It's just gross. And that's what I hate the most, like, about the state of full self-driving right now, is like, overall, I think, and this drive included, it's pretty good, right? Like, it hasn't done anything like drastically wrong like it used to, and almost all of the interactions and what have you are awkward more than anything. They're just awkward for me as the pilot and the people I'm sharing the road with, and obviously I'm responsible for this vehicle, and I like to see things play out, but at the same time, I just feel gross. I've got this nice car that a lot of people still, even though with the price cuts, can't afford. And here I am doing a disservice to fellow Tesla owners by having people be like, what is this guy even doing? Can he freaking drive? Because I think the large majority of people do not understand that Teslas have this capability. And even if they have maybe heard of it, they don't really know how, they don't know the capabilities and how it works. So it's, so that's my frustration is, again, people just don't know. And so I feel awkward because I feel like I'm the jackass, which, hey, maybe I am. Maybe I am the jackass for doing these videos and for letting my car behave in an irritating manner to others. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I mean, you guys are watching this video. If you've made it this far, you guys are watching it. Should I continue to let it play out? Or should I just really be forceful with it? I kind of lean to the latter, but I don't know. We'll see. And that's going to wrap it for this particular video. Overall, I think I don't know that we've seen any. I don't seen any significant improvements in this particular build. I was going to go test another area, but from what I have seen, I don't know that it would be anything different. If I happen to notice anything, maybe I'll go and film it again, but it is way across town, and it really is just more about being awkward in lane selection and lane changes, and I have not noticed anything on this quick loop that would suggest that that has been addressed at all. So anyway, yeah, on the whole, again, I think we only had a couple of disengagements. Just the one that I was accidentally disengaged, and then the second one running through the yellow light, which I decided to take over. So on the whole, again, I think FSD is in a spot where it is able to complete drives, and sometimes, and I would say nowadays, most of the time, without intervention, all the way to completion. At the same time, I feel like it's still very awkward. And I don't, I haven't filmed in a while, mostly because my drives around town and what have you are pretty boring. And I think that would probably go for most of the folks that probably film these, is our drives are boring. We don't go anywhere interesting. There's no interesting interactions, and it takes us from point A to point B really without a lot of fuss. And that's actually pretty different from where I was even a year ago. Like, it was more of like, okay, let's roll the dice on FSD. But now, especially with the this particular build is 69.3, but now we're back on 2.5 with V11 around the corner, hopefully soon, within a couple of weeks. But since we got on the 69.3 version especially, it's I feel like it's just been really fantastic even for me. And again, most of my drives are just boring. I go from my parents' house to run the grocery store, and it's just a couple of turns, and it works without issue. And occasionally take over here and there. I'll use the accelerator quite a bit more, especially at intersections. I think it's still slow to get to the intersection and then finally roll through. But that is what it is as well. So anyway, really excited for V11. And hopefully that's going to be make for some more interesting videos, and well, maybe hopefully less interesting, right? Like, just make it right to the end. Anyway, that will do it right for this particular video. Thank you again so much for everybody for watching. Thank you so much for your subscriptions, and again, if you click subscribe, I get a notification for that, and I will shout you out in my next videos. And of course, leave a comment if you have questions or would like to see anything different. We'll catch you next time. Peace.